Happy Vlogmas Day 3, everybody. My name is Jennifer, and Fred and I want to welcome you to our little daily dose of holly jolly, so to speak. We're excited every day to bring you a little bit of our day and what we've been working on these days leading up to Christmas and the holiday season, and participate here on YouTube with everybody else in Vlogmas. So today we're going to cover a few things as far as finished objects and some Advent stuff, and also some works in progress. So we always like to start with the Arne and Carlos Advent Christmas ball calendar for this year. They designed 24 balls, one for every day leading up to Christmas. And each day they invite everybody to stitch along with them. They post their daily podcast, show off the new ball pattern, and so we all stitch the ball along with them, get to see their version, get to see our version, and they're also doing a giveaway on social media, which if you post each ball that you knit with hashtag Arne and Carlos and hashtag sit and knit for a bit, they are going to do a really nice giveaway of a couple of Arne and Carlos items from their shop after, the 24 days is up, so after the holidays. So if you win, you might get a really nice post-Christmas, post-holiday gift in the mail. So today, of course, is day 3, and if you watch their YouTube podcast today, they kind of talked about the inspiration for this ball, because they are in Norway, and of course they're big knitters, but also because of their where they live, sheep are a big part of their day-to-day life. I mean, I think sheep there are probably what we would probably call free range. Basically, they're all over the road, all over the countryside. You're going to see them everywhere, but sheep are part of the economy there. And so basically they kind of wanted to pay tribute, so to speak, to sheep. So today's ball, the name is Mutton, which, mutton. And this is the pattern. It's a little sheep, little eyes and ears and little feet, and it's kind of in a heart shape, which is just absolutely adorable. So that was day 1, that was day 2, this is day 3. These are turning out super cute. I believe, as I mentioned in previous podcast, they're decorating some of these with crystal beads, and I believe what they are doing is just kind of placing them on the sheep body. But again, I chose this route. I like the rustic kind of country woolly look of these, especially sheep wool. But it turned out super cute. I really like it a lot. I'm not a sheep person. I'm not a sheep person, but this is absolutely adorable. Absolutely cute. And looks just as fluffy, especially using the yarn. So Arne and Carlos, their yarn that they're using is a Rowan brand yarn, a DK that's like 50% wool, 50% alpaca. And not that I couldn't find it here, but in the spirit of shopping at a local business, with everything going on in the economy as it is, I found this Big Bad Wolf, which is 50% merino, 50% baby alpaca, and there are 3 colors that they have, red, white, and green. So the green color is called Olive You. The red, I believe, is called Redbird. And then the white, it's kind of more of a natural white color, but is raw white. So those are the 3 that I'm using. Theirs are slightly different, but basically the same colors. I think they're green. I started looking today. The green in their pictures looks a bit darker. It looks a more, a darker green. But other than that, they look good. They look really good. I really like them a lot. The other thing I have to decide is I'm going to end up with 24 of these, and they're not small. We don't put up a tree. Not that, I'd love to put up a tree. We have cats, and cats can be kind of, I don't know what you might call a little too playful when it comes to Christmas trees. Some cats don't care, and I've seen people who have cats who doesn't faze them. We've always had cats that want to just terrorize Christmas trees. So we haven't put one up in a long time. So I'm trying to decide. Right now I'm just kind of decorating this, it's like a garland, basically. Synthetic, but garland. And that's what I may end up doing, is just decorating across the mantle, or something like that every year with these. A couple of these are really, really cute, and I thought of people. I kind of looked ahead at the patterns, and I thought of a couple of people, so a couple of these I may knit up more than one to give as gifts. But right now, I'm just trying to get through all 24, one a day. These do take, this one today, I think took me over 3 hours. Part of it was a couple of places in here I wasn't paying attention to the pattern. But I think the more color work there is, like this, is, you've got a little bit here and there, but mostly it's just knitting round and round and round. When you've got a lot of color work like this, and it's four-sided, you've got to pay a lot more attention, but I think it just takes longer. Maybe I'm not as good at color work, because, doing a solid on the top, man, that just flies by. But the color work, apparently I have to take my time with it for some reason. And maybe that's the same way with everybody. But anyway, so this one in particular took me a while. This is, of the three, I think this one's taken me the longest so far. And the color work, don't be scared. These are actually really easy, really great. I'm not good at color work, but these stuffed, round shapes, full of fiber, you can't tell. There are a couple of spots. I know where there's puckering. I can see my own work, but these to me even look really good, even for me. So I'm impressed. It's a great learning pattern for learning color work. So if you are nervous or hesitant, don't be. They're great. And the other thing I haven't mentioned so far is I'm knitting these on DPNs. I'm sure there are people out there doing magic loop, but I like DPNs. It's basically like knitting a sock, but only with, closing it up on either end. But I learned I think it was on the first one, the only DPNs I had were like, I want to say either 7-inch or 8-inch. And they were way too long. There was too much needle and not enough yarn to work with. So I actually got 5-inch needles, and they are perfect. They're a little short, because when you start getting towards the end where you only have a few stitches on each needle, I noticed that the long side that I'm not stitching on with each needle will kind of jab me in the hand from time to time. Not that it hurts, but I'm just saying I noticed that there's, but when you're working on these full sections, they are like the perfect length, and you've got just enough room on either side of, either point of each needle that it works up really quickly, really well. So if you're looking for what kind of tool to use, people love magic loop. I just haven't learned. I know the concept, I know the technique. I just haven't done enough of it, I guess, to be a magic loop person. And I like my DPNs. So anyway, so there's day 3. Really, really cute. Mutton. Don't forget it. And of course, we'll have some more every day leading up till Christmas. The other advent I have, or that I'm participating in is Trinkles. They're a company out of Rhode Island that makes notions and tools for knitters, fiber people. They have some really, really cute stuff. In my first Vlogmas, if you go back and look, I showed off some of the other stuff that I bought from them previous to this advent calendar. They're out of Rhode Island. I think primarily they began making stitch markers and needle gauges and swatch rulers and all those kinds of things out of wood. But since more recently, they've also started doing acrylic, and they do some really cute, really bright, shiny things. So if you're a sucker, for stitch markers especially, go check them out. They're really, really, really great. So having said that, most people on here are participating in advent calendars dealing with yarn, and I've done a couple of those, but I have plenty of yarn. I have plenty of stitch markers too, but this was one of those that I couldn't resist just because it was different. It wasn't the same as all the others. I watch a lot of these and I see the same people buying the same yarn advent calendar, so I'm seeing the same colors over and over and over again, which is great. And it's so nice to see people that are participating, economically speaking. I mean, they we all know that these things cost quite a bit more than just a skein of yarn, so we know what we've put aside, to participate in these. So it's nice to see that all the independent dyers and yarn shops and everybody have sold out, because there are so many people that have continued to choose to participate these every year. So I'm rambling on, but anyway, so Trinkles, they sent this little advent calendar of stitch markers with this cute little Santa flamingo. This is a pin. This is 2020 and it says Trinkles on it. In this nice little felt container, which is really great because it's kind of what I'm keeping as I'm opening these. I'm dropping the stitch markers down in there, just so I don't lose them and I remember what they go with. And then when all this is over, I'll add them to my other collection of stitch markers. But I kind of wanted to keep them separate for now. So anyway, so this is day 3, and going in order, that's kind of what they recommended you do, but I'm sure if you just really wanted to be a rebel, you could work in reverse or something like that. I cut the top off just to avoid any kind of crinkle noise, but I haven't seen inside yet. So this is day 3. Oh, and it's an acrylic stitch marker, and it's a little purple sheep. And how absolutely adorable one is that. Oh my gosh, I almost can't even see it. But how good is the timing? Did a sheep ornament, stitched a sheep ornament today, and then got a sheep stitch marker. So cute. Purple, absolutely adorable. And it's acrylic. You can kind of see the little glossy whatever in the light there. So that is really sweet. And I mentioned in previous ones, I've got projects planned after the first of the year. I'm just trying to get through my holiday knitting, my gift knitting right now, and my little bit of Advent knitting. But these will all be put to good use, and these are absolutely great. And I don't remember, so they had 2 options with this Advent calendar. I think they had a 12-day and a 24-day, and I opted for the 24-day. But I think you also had the option to tell them whether or not you wanted rings or you wanted the lobster clasp, the like progress keepers. Like this is one that I have that's, like that. I think that was also an option that you could tell them. So obviously I went for these. I have a lot more of those lobster claw ones, sort of. And I say that only because I have made my own. Like that one was a purchase, but from like a box store, you know, like Michael's or Joann's or somewhere, and it was over in like the jewelry section, and it was meant to be like a charm on a bracelet or something like that, but it already had a lobster clasp on it. I was like, that's not a charm, that's a progress keeper. But so I have a lot more of those, because also I have taken things, you know, either a pendant off of a necklace, or you know, something really cute that I found, and kind of took it apart and then put a lobster clasp or a ring, a jump ring on it, and made it myself. So, but I don't have as many of these. So I think I specifically requested. So far, this is all they've been. So I think they're all going to be like this. But again, sheep, absolutely cute, absolutely adorable. You know, the only thing is, and it's not a complaint, because it's completely cute, but I can see those snagging on a sweater or a sock, or, you know, on a loop. So, yeah, it's fine though. It's adorable. I just snag things all the time. I snag my fingernails on stuff, you know. So, sheep, awesome. All right, enough of that. Okay, so that's pretty much it for Advent stuff. I'm going to move on to my stitch work in progress. I'm participating, or trying to participate in Black Needle Society's 12 days of stitching. The idea is you pick 12 things to stitch over 24 days, so everything gets stitched on at least 2 days over a 24-day period. So they had some prompts that you didn't have to follow, but they were just suggestions of things that they were going to do and thought other people might like to do. There was a wreath prompt, which I showed you the first day. I got a little bit done on that, so I've got another day of stitching to work on that. There was an ornament prompt, which my ornament is up there. And I started thinking about that today, since I actually finished that. Not a real good job, but I finished it on day 1. I still have a second day. So I haven't decided if, I know I want to do some more of those. So I think my second day, I'm going to pick another one of those. I think there was 6 in the pattern. And pick another one and try again, see if I can do a better job. One of the patterns was a little like deer. Not necessarily a reindeer. I don't think he had like a red nose, you know, just a deer. But, reindeer, caribou. One of them was the bird. One of them, I think, was like a little holly. Just like a couple of, like holly leaves with the berries. I think one was a mistletoe. So what I did there, I had enough surface area to work with that bird to stitch that on the fabric, which turned out really wonky, but it's fine. The other ones, there's so little stitching to be done that I'm really going to have to rethink how I affix my stitch to the fabric. The idea was, the original pattern was to stitch the pattern directly on. It was a recommended, like a Zweigart even weave, but I didn't have anything that was cute like what was in the picture. But I had this cute fabric that I wanted to put it on that kind of looked like the fabric in the picture. The problem is, I stitched it on Ada and then tried to attach it to the fabric after the fact, and botched up the fabric and botched up the sewing job. And I had an idea in mind of how I wanted to put the bird on there and how I thought it would look, and it didn't turn out looking that way. But all that to say that if I still have a day 2 and I still want to go back and do another one of those, yeah, I've got some time to think about doing that better, and hopefully I'll have a second one to show you. Anyway, but that was basically it. They had all these different prompts. You could play along. I mean, not play, you're stitching along, but you could follow along with the prompts, you know, show off the things that you're working on that follow those suggestion guidelines, and they gave you about 6 prompts, but you still had 6 more projects you had to do or come up with, you know, picks. So, so all in all, you know, the suggestions they gave don't necessarily cover all the projects you're going to pick. But one of the suggestions was something that either the project was called Deck the Halls, or it had the word Deck the Halls, or, you know, something to that effect. So the pattern I chose for this one, and I will put the picture here, has Deck the Halls down at the bottom. And this is actually, if you notice in the picture, again, this is stitched on fabric and then somehow affixed to a fabric ornament in the shape of a tree. So basically now I've got to decide if I want to go that route again with this. I actually thought about depending on how this is bigger. I mean, I knew how big it was because I kind of got the fabric because I knew what size it was going to be. But I only had an idea in my head. I didn't know for sure. I mean, it's like you know you cut the fabric, but until you start to see the actual stitched object, you don't realize how much you're actually working with. So I started thinking this might actually just be cute, just like in a frame, small, you know, like something that you put up on the mantle or whatever. It would also make a good ornament, but it would just be a really big ornament. A lot bigger than I kind of, like I said, I originally had in my head. So anyway, this is my first day of stitching, and I got kind of there. I mean, I think in 2 days I can get pretty close to finished. I don't think I can finish the object completely, but I think I'll have it completely stitched. I think I'll have it finished. So that's what I got done so far. And as you can see, this is the top of the actual tree, and it will be a tree shape when it's done. And I think the Deck the Halls will be down here somewhere. But yeah, so it's actually looking really cute. This is the word joy. And you notice this P is funky. There is actually another color for those 2 spots. It was really weird. I had to double, triple check that pattern and like look at the picture like up close, and I was like, yeah, okay, there's a different color there. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know what the person was thinking, but apparently they wanted a different color just for those 2 pieces of or those 2 spots of the piece. So that's what we're doing. So yeah, it was actually really fun. And when I put up the picture, if you noticed, it looks really not washed out, but it looks really kind of faded. I was so happy that these colors are as vibrant and as like contemporary modern, you know, colors as they are. I really was just really super thrilled when I started stitching this. Like this green especially. I was like, this is actually really pretty. And like I said, really modern, really contemporary. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing how this turns out. And I'll kind of show you, these are the colors. I mean, and I don't think this is another one. There's like 4, I think, different ones. These are all the colors used for all 4 patterns. I don't know that I pulled all of them because, you know, I don't have to sit there and try to figure it out. I just wanted to have them ready. But look how just, I mean, those, you know, it's not, you know, holly green and cardinal red. It's you know, it's pink, and it's, you know, seafoam green and mint and blue and, you know, baby blue. And so, I mean, I'm really kind of looking forward to finishing this. I think this is going to be really cute. So I am more glad now that I picked this pattern than when I first picked it, just because it said Deck the Halls down at the bottom, and I was picking small things that I knew I could finish in hopefully two plus days. I have to hand it to these ladies. You know, when I have time to sit and stitch on something, and can devote time to this, and this is as far, or that's as much as I can do in a day, or my poinsettia wreath where all I had was like some little thing. I am impressed because I see these ladies on their floss tubes and how much they get done, and it is phenomenal. So hats off to all you guys and gals that do this. Like, this is your thing. I mean, if I were going to be totally honest right now, knitting's my thing, or crochet. Crochet was originally my thing, but knitting's now my thing. Cross stitch is fun. Cross stitch is a nice hobby, and when you find a good pattern, it's worth stitching. But these ladies where cross stitching is their thing, they are wonder people, wonder women, wonder guys. They're amazing because I feel so accomplished for having done, I don't know how many stitches this is. I don't count. Those people, they count their stitches. But yeah, I'm really happy with this so far. So, I'm rambling on again, and I'm trying to keep these short because I know these Vlogmases shouldn't be this long. So anyway, so that's my stitch, and hopefully, like I said, hopefully I can get the majority of it done the second day, and have maybe a finished object before Christmas if I have like extra time somewhere where I can devote more time to it than just the 2 days. So we'll see. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. If anybody's wondering, my hat I did make. This was Color Made Easy by Lion Brand that I'd bought a couple of years ago for a project, and then some leftover, this is Bernat, like that blanket, real thick blanket yarn. But it was just something, my little elf hat, so I thought I'd wear it today because it seemed kind of Christmassy. And this green color, this is my color. I like this color a lot. So yeah, I think that is everything. Oh, the other thing I did want to mention, if any of you guys and gals are wondering, you know, every day seems like it's National such and such day or whatever. Well, today is December 3rd. It's Make a Gift Day. So if you feel so inclined, do that. It's a nice feeling. I was watching Arne and Carlos's podcast today, and they were talking about making socks as gifts. Carlos talked about it. I think Arne's mother made him socks for their first Christmas, that he met Arne's family. And Arne mentioned how there is something about making a gift for someone that it means so much more, and not only to the recipient, because the recipient's receiving something from you that you made for them, and you probably had them in mind when you made it, but it's also a much better gift because the person who made the gift was thinking of the recipient the entire time that they made it, which means they thought about memories or the love that they felt for them, or the intent or the meaning or the purpose behind the gift that they're making them. If it was their favorite color, or if it reminded them of a moment in time that they spent together, if it was something that they knew that they wanted but they didn't have time to do themselves, or something that you knew because of where they lived would keep them warm, So I thought that was a really, really sweet thought, sentimentality, that making a gift for someone is just as special to the person it's for as it is to the person who made it. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. It's day 3. It's early on in this, but this has been fun so far. So we're going to try to keep up day to day. And I just want to remind everybody this year's different, and we're all having to learn how to have a different kind of Christmas holiday season this year. So be patient, be kind, because we all need it. We all need it this year, but there are some who need it more than others. So always treat everyone with patience and kindness, because it'll make their holiday a lot more special. All right, until tomorrow. Bye, guys.